Alright guys, we're back and we're working on the abandoned WRX. It's beautiful out today here. We did finish my grandma's Forester, so that is up and running. Obviously, since the Forester is done, the garage is cleared up. Lots of space in the garage now, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be tearing apart this engine bay as much as I can while it's nice outside. Going to be getting everything pretty much off. So it's just down to a long block, and then obviously pull it in the garage here, and then we're gonna be pulling out the motor. We're gonna be looking at what's all like done to the car, what like mods it has. We're gonna be looking at like the damage that was caused from blowing up, like how big the hole is, and then we're basically just gonna be going through the entire car and just fixing everything we can. You know, Sylvia, say hi. So again, we're gonna be fixing everything we can. We're gonna be replacing the two doors here because of the big dents there. Fixing the coilovers because you guys saw that in the one video where they just collapsed somehow from sitting. The cars have been driven in what? Since May of 2021, technically. Who knows, it could have been earlier than that. So almost 3-4 years now. We're going to be cleaning it up. We did pick up some Advid 1 wheels. I did mention in the last video, which do look pretty good, but we do need to dial in fitment so they fit a little better, because in the rear we will be rubbing. And then the interior is honestly not bad, it just needs to be cleaned really well. But I mean, we're probably going to be putting the car mostly back to stock. So I mean, it's got a tune on it right now, which was, I don't know if it was any good or not, but it's got a Cobb Access port, like Pro Tune on it, so I don't know how good it is. And it's got like a downpipe exhaust, looks like stock injectors, blow off valve, and then I mean that was really it for stuff done to the car performance wise. If you could, that you can see right now, but once we start digging into it, I mean then we'll really figure it out what's all done to the car. But with that being said, let's just hop right into it. Let's start tearing apart the engine bay. We're going to start with the engine bay so we can get the new motor in with a new clutch or used clutch depending on how well the clutch is. And then once the car's running good, we're gonna do all the body work. Not all the body work, but most of the body work. Alright, so I'm digging in the motor. I got the intercooler off and I got the turbo shield off, and I just want to show you guys what I've found so far. So as you can see, that's a big ass piece of your block, and there's another one right there by the knock sensor. Like, that's huge. I mean, if you look in there, you can see the big open hole. Let's see if I can get a better view over here real quick. Yeah, that's wild. Look at the size of that hole. And then the intake manifold is just full of like coolant and oil. Turbo's full of oil. This thing does have something pretty cool that I haven't seen. It actually has Mishimoto radiator fans, like a whole aluminum piece right here on this radiator, which is kind of sick. If you can see it, it's like a whole plate. It's not like the stock fans. It's not like the stock fans that are just plastic, like these ones right here. Like, it's not like that at all. It's like a whole aluminum piece which is kind of cool. It's like slim, as you can see. But digging into this car just a little bit that I already did. I don't really see much else done to it. But we got Subi posing with the Subi bumper, right, Subi? Same with Lucifer. Lucifer, say hi. Sylvia's over there looking at the coolant. But anyways, so when it comes to pulling speed motors that I pull, I usually pull the bare minimum that I need. So I pretty much just leave everything on the motor. Obviously, what needs to come off when I'm pulling is these connectors, the EGT sensor, the body harness, the O2 sensor. Well, I guess this one's the EGT sensor, but I usually take the boost controller, just toss on the motor. I'll do power steering line off, AC out, or not AC, radiator out, and then these two body harnesses here, fuel lines, and then bell housing, downpipe, and then usually just toss the motor right out. So that's the plan. Alright, so radiator's out. The car is now in the garage because it's getting cold here in Minnesota and it's going to be kind of shitty out all week. So I did end up bringing it in. I also ended up grabbing a piece of the block. As you can see, I mean, my hand isn't huge, but I mean, that's a big chunk of your block. I also noticed that it has a like Grimspeed lightweight crank pulley, which is also kind of cool. Pretty much just got fuel lines and bell housing, bolts, exhaust, and that's it. Everything else in here is all done. So I'm leaving like a lot of this stuff in the car since I'm obviously going to be reusing a lot of that stuff. I'm pretty much going to keep the access port and the blow off valve on, same with the exhaust, just so it doesn't mess with the tune as much. So obviously I'll have to swap over some stuff over to this motor, but I mean, this motor is going to get completely resealed. Not completely, but just like oil pan, valve cover, and probably spark plugs while the motor's outside the car. Probably do a new timing case here off that car, because basically between these two motors right here, I want to make a really solid, clean one. I mean, not that this one is broken, but I mean, this thing was obviously out of an automatic, so I need to swap over the clutch. This thing needs a new turbo, which is right here. And then just other little shit, like this PVC hose, like that was on it, was kinked. It's kind of hard to see. But like any of that little stuff, I want to fix before the motor goes in. And then again, once the motor is in the car's running good, then all this other little stuff is just going to be getting buttoned up. All right, guys, it is day 2 of working on the abandoned WRX. I ran out of time yesterday and I only got to obviously tearing apart just some stuff up here. I didn't get a ton done, but we're gonna be getting the motor out today. There isn't much left, just bell housing, obviously the downpipe, a couple harnesses, fuel lines, and motor mounts, and it's ready to come out, and then we can check out the damage. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna hop right into it because it is kind of nice here in Minnesota. So yeah, let's get right into it. You guys wouldn't believe me if I told you that this starter is seized on there. I've literally been pounding at it for like a minute straight now, and I just had to show you guys that like usually they fall out pretty easy, but you could see, Jesus, this thing's just got a ton of corrosion just from sitting for so long. I mean, look at the bell housing bolts too. Usually they're pretty clean. I mean, not super clean, but like they're usually like this, you know. But this car was obviously driven in the winter here in Minnesota, and he blew it up and then he parked it, and he probably just never washed it, and that's why it's so corroded, because aluminum corrodes, obviously. Alright guys, so I wasn't kidding you. I was not kidding you when I said that like everything is fucking seized on here. So I got a 1/2 inch breaker bar here on the little bolt that holds like the pin in for the clutch fork. Just check this out. See that? It just hasn't even fucking moved yet. It's just, I mean, granted I have some extensions on there, but like I ain't getting it off by like a little 3/8 fucking ratchet, you know what I mean?
my bait. Ain't saving a hoe, I don't wear a cave. You beef with me, don't think you ever save. I hop in the phone and drive like a race. We sipping the Henny, I don't need a chase. We dodging the feds and catching no case. I sky on blue hunters, always make my day. I slide on your block, I hop on my sleigh. I pray to God I make it home to the day. I'm trying to get me and lock me away. You act like you tough, what you trying to betray. I fuck a good route, but she wanna stay. Since we lost the car, you gotta take her.
I'm sure you guys saw me struggling there. The bolt for the motor mount was fucked. Saw me getting covered in rust too. All this shit fell off. Just a bunch of shit. But she's already come out now, so we're gonna get it hooked up to the cherry picker and we're gonna fucking yank that bitty out. So let's get at it. Alright. We got her all pretty much disconnected. The only thing I need to do is put a jack on the trans, jack the trans up, so then it's kind of angled up. So the whole motor is like, instead of sitting level, it's like angled up. So it's just plop right out. I just gotta get it to go. Maybe now we can get our trusty dusty Milwaukee pry bar. It is separating, so basically just gotta keep working it. Alright, we're gonna get the even bigger, better Milwaukee pry bar. There she goes. That's one side. See, this is the old girl you need. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's get back up here. Yeah, you don't see me doing this often. You won't, at least. Most Subis that I work on are not this bad. There we go. You guys see that? You just gotta lift up the motor, just yank her out, you know, just like I did. I don't think I've ever had this much problem taking out an EJ. Really don't want to do this. Okay, I did not smash my hands. So I just had to lift up the motor just to like get it out of the way. Just like that. Now she's out. Not even gonna lie, guys, this is probably one of the hardest motors that I have ever taken out of a Subaru. And I've owned probably 12 Subarus by now. I mean, I got 4 out there right now, just outside. I got the 5th one right here. And I've had no problem ever taking out motors or transmissions. Here, let's see how bad the damage really is. Oh, that is a chunk right there, guys. Okay, let me get a couple of these hoses off so you guys can see. Oh, wow. Alright, there's another piece of your block right here. Oh, that's part of your rod. These 3 pieces right here, I mean, that's like a lot. That's like one of the biggest holes I've ever seen in a Subaru. So since the motor's out now, I'm not going to be doing anything else really. I'm just going to be getting this motor prepped and ready to drop in the car right away, so we can get the car running, obviously. So once the car's running, again, we're gonna then go on to fixing the body as much as we can, and just any other little things we can do to make the car run good and look good at the same time. I'm not going to be keeping this car. I bought it just to fix it and sell it. So I'm obviously going to drive the car and enjoy it for a little bit, but it will not be staying with me long term, because I would like to move on to other projects as well. And once this car is done, I can move on to the STI here, and we can get that thing rolling. We got the motor right there. So once this car is done, then move on to the next project. So yeah, stay tuned for cleaning up this motor, assembling it, and then dropping it back in all in the next video. So yeah, see you guys then.